Welcome to BeatzNEatz. Today we are making jackfruit sliders. That's right, jackfruit sliders. And I have a host of ingredients, but the guest of honor is the jackfruit. For the homemade barbecue sauce, I have some mustard, some apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, smoked paprika, some pepper, garlic powder, some onion powder, kosher salt, and ketchup. And for the slaw that's gonna go on our jackfruit sliders, I have some bagged slaw, a green apple, mayo, some honey, and some dill seed. And then of course we have those beautiful Hawaiian rolls to make our sliders with. And I'm gonna cook the jackfruit in a little bit of avocado oil, olive oil mix. So many wonderful ingredients, so many things got going on here. We're gonna make it do what it do here on BeatzNEatz. So I'm gonna start out making my sauce, and then I'm gonna go into the slaw and the jackfruit and the Hawaiian rolls. You ready to cook? Let's cook. Turn my saucepan on here. And I decided to use homemade barbecue sauce for this recipe. I could have went and got some packaged barbecue sauce, but I was like, you know, on BeatzNEatz, we're gonna do it whole. We're gonna see what happens when we just stick to whole ingredients. But like I said, if it's easier for you to just get you a bottle of barbecue sauce, then by all means, get your favorite barbecue sauce. I'm just gonna start kind of low since we have so many ingredients here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my ingredients in. I'm just gonna start, there's no rhyme or reason. You may want to start with a wet ingredient. Put this down low. So I'm gonna start with my ketchup. This is gonna be the base of our sauce. So I have about a half cup here of ketchup. And I'm gonna keep some on reserve just in case. Next, I'm gonna add in my apple cider vinegar. And that's gonna break it down and get everything in together. Give that a stir. Get it in the pot. So next thing I have is my smoked paprika. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of kosher salt. And that's going to be to taste also, so I'm going to leave that up here. And then I have the onion powder and my garlic powder. This is the garlic powder. Add that in. That's going to be the taste also. I'm making a small batch, so I'm not going to dump all my ingredients in at one time. And then got my onion powder here. And you know, this is BeatzNEatz. I just go ahead and just drop stuff in. But I will leave the recipe in the description. And I got this is my black pepper here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of that in. And then I have my Dijon mustard that I'm using. I'm just gonna do half of this because I don't want to overwhelm my flavor. And so I have some brown sugar here. This is actually dark brown sugar. It calls for a half a cup, but me being very cautious of sugar of any type outside of fruit, I want to do this, I want to add it gradually to my recipe just to, you know, gauge that sweetness also along with the rest of my seasonings. So I'm gonna do about a tablespoon for now. So I have all my ingredients over here on standby. So now I'm gonna give this a whisk around for our sauce, our barbecue sauce. Give it a taste. It's pretty good. So what better way to do a slider? There's so many recipes for sliders. You got pizza sliders, you got chicken and cheese sliders, you got turkey sliders, you got meatball sliders. I have an idea for a slider that I'm not telling right now, but I'm gonna do it eventually when I get it to the right perfection. So we got our sauce working up over here. Let's see, I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt. Give it another taste. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I want to add a little more, my garlic powder, my onion powder, starting to look alike. So I'm going to add just a little more. It's just, like I said, I'm just going to add it in taste-wise. Just keep bringing it up. Add some more, just a little bit more brown sugar. Okay, see if there's a sauce going on there. I'm gradually increasing the temperature because I don't, like I said, I don't want my sauce to burn. That's superb. That is superb. I do want to add some more smoked paprika to it, just to make sure we have that nice smoky flavor to our sauce. So once we get this done, we're going to set it to the side and we're going to make our slaw. Last test. The right amount of tanginess, the right amount of sweet. So now I'm just gonna let this simmer just a couple, probably a minute or so, and just let those flavors, those sauces, and those seasonings start to marry. And I want to do it on a very low simmer because it has the sugar in there, the brown sugar in there, and I don't want it to caramelize. I just want it to simmer low, marry, and then cool as we make the rest of our slaw and our sliders. Like I say, if you need to make this, if you need to just purchase you some barbecue sauce, by all means. But if you want that homemade, no additives or anything, you can always make you a small batch of barbecue sauce just for your sliders. Once I get my jackfruit sliders cooked and pulled, I'm gonna put that sauce on it and get it mixed up. I'm gonna add it to that Hawaiian roll and put some of that delicious slaw that we're about to make on top of it. Superb. So now that my sauce has simmered, I'm gonna just let it sit to the side, let it cool down. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my slaw. So for my slaw, I have the bag of slaw that you get from the grocery store. It has purple cabbage in it, carrots, some regular cabbage, and that's pretty much about it. That's all you really need. You can chop your own purple cabbage and your regular cabbage and your julienne, use some carrots, but this is the convenience. You know, if you're not making your sauce, you can get your barbecue sauce, you can get your bagged slaw, and be so simple. But you know, like I said, we're just gonna make our slaw homemade. So I may add a little bit of that Dijon to it and a little bit of salt. So I'm kind of glad I had a reserve of the other ingredients. My dill seed, my mayo, and just to give it a little hint of honey. And I have my fresh green apple. I love slaw with apples in it It just brings out the goodness and that little tartness that you have in apples. So I'm gonna get this all mixed up here. Go ahead and dump my slaw into a bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with some honey, just to put a little bit on there. Not even really measuring. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of my mayo there. A little kosher salt. Just a little bit of dill, so because dill is pretty powerful, so I just want to add just a little bit to start out. And if you want, you can use dill cubes, sweet cubes, whatever you see fit. And of course, I'm going to add my green apple to it. And I don't like if I'm using apples in a recipe, I don't pre-cut because I don't like my fruits and vegetables to brown. You know, the oxygen from the air. Once you cut the apple, will cause it to start to, you know, oxidize. So there's nothing wrong with it, but I just prefer not. I'm not gonna completely take the skin off. Just gonna cut some of it off. Since the skin is the really good part, the fibrous part of the apple that you want. So this is a pretty good compromise by just taking some of your skin off, not all of it. So I'm going to cut into my apple. And this recipe is just filled with so much goodness here. Even though it's still a slider, you can still add so many great nutrients to it. Like this apple, of course, you know, an apple a day. That is so true. The health benefits, the amazing health benefits of an apple go a long, long, long way in your health. And so I'm just going to dice these apples up. And you can see I still have that nice skin on there. Catch my other pieces. It's all cut here. So you can add onion, you can add raisins. That is if you want raisins on your slider. But in general, if you're making coleslaw, you can pretty much add anything you want to it. And this smells so good. And look how pretty this chopped apple is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Cooking can be so therapeutic. The cutting and prepping, so therapeutic. So I'm just gonna add this in. Add our apple in. Mix everything around. So after we get this slaw, you can actually grill these, and you can actually use a real jackfruit. But that is challenging on its own, just to cut a jackfruit up. And if you Google or even YouTube the cutting of a jackfruit, it takes some time. It's not for the weak at heart. That's why I opt to use canned. And if you can find canned, it's probably a good idea to just invest in you a can of jackfruit. Now, if you're feeling froggy, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm just giving you fair warning what's involved with cutting fresh jackfruit. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful in this bowl. Make sure I have enough everything in it. Very delightful. Very delightful. Very fresh. Very, very delightful. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to sit this to the side. So next up, we're going to start cooking our jackfruit. And we're going to take this jackfruit. So I'm going to use some avocado oil that I have. It's actually an avocado extra virgin olive oil mixture that's already pre-mixed. It's the best of both worlds. Use whatever kind of oil you like. I would recommend something light. And I'm going to turn on this side also, so I can toast my buns. Oh, let me tell y'all about this beet. Let me bring this down. Let me tell y'all about this beet. I almost forgot about the beet. This beet, I call it levitation. It's one of those beets when after you eat something like this jackfruit slider, like you just want to sit back and chill, and the frequency is like something you could actually just feel like you're floating, like an actual levitation. Like, it's soothing. This is something that you could listen to in the dark and recharge and relax. Yes, levitation, levitation. Back to these sliders. This jackfruit that we're about to embark on. Like I said, I'm gonna utilize both sides of my grill here and cook this jackfruit on one side, and we're gonna toast our buns on the other side. Then we're gonna layer those beets over those eats and just have an amazing jackfruit slider. So my pan is warm. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit it with this oil. And so for my jackfruit, since it has the consistency of, and if you look, you can see it's kind of stringy. That's the texture you want to give it that pulled pork, if you will. So as I'm adding it to the pan, I'm gonna pull it. So I'm just gonna pull it. Some more oil to this. And even as it cooks, I can just let it cook whole and just pull it as it cooks. And I maintain the water that came, the brine that it came in the can, just so I could make sure that it wasn't, gonna dry out or anything. And it'll soften as it cooks. I'm so excited about this. Because, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking a chill out on meat every now and again. So now with it cooking, make sure it doesn't stick. I'm gonna add my sauce to it, that beautiful sauce that we made. So this had a chance to settle in. So I'm just gonna hit it with some of this sauce. And just keep tearing it. That piece needs to cook a little bit longer. And you can see it's starting to get softer. And it actually looks like pulled pork or pulled chicken. Is this something that you guys think that you would be like in one of your quests for, you know, taking a break for meat? Would it be something that, would this recipe something that you'd be like, okay, you know, I want to kind of venture out and see what it's all about? Or would this be something you just want to go to a restaurant and have somebody prepare, a chef prepare for you? I'm trying to think, I don't think I've ever had them in a restaurant before. So I think we're going to take this piece out because it is really firm. It may have been part closer to the heart of the jackfruit, so that definitely probably is not going to cook well. So I got everything chopped up over here. Bring that side up. So I'm just going to add a little bit more sauce. Add my barbecue sauce to it. As you can see, we're starting to have our jackfruit slider mix. And while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go ahead and get my Hawaiian rolls ready and toast it to toast on the other side. And I'm just gonna cut them in half. I've made sliders before and they always seem to be such a hit. So I'm just gonna sit, like if you wanna add some oil to yours, you can. Sit my bread over here, let it get a little toast on it. Very tasty. I'm just excited to see, because I know the barbecue flavor in this, I know the slaw tastes amazing. And the Hawaiian rolls, you just can't go wrong with Hawaiian rolls, period. So we're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna come back. We're gonna plate all of this up. Oh my gosh, you guys. I want to add just a little more sauce. Just so I can give that barbecue flavor, texture to it. And I would consider this a vinegar-based barbecue sauce, since I did put the apple cider vinegar in there. But you don't have to use, if you're not a big fan of the, the vinegar-based barbecue, then just leave out that apple cider or any vinegar. So I think we are ready to plate. Cooking and making beets. What lights you up? Find that thing that lights you up and do it. Find that lights you up and do it. Like, who would have thought I'd be combining beets and cooking? Henceforth, BeatzNEatz. You ready to play? Let's play. So we're back and our jackfruit sliders are plated up and ready to go. And they smell so delicious. The bread is toasted, that slaw is topping it, that jackfruit with the barbecue sauce on it. Then I got me a little side of coleslaw, you know, just in case. So I'm ready to dig into the slider and just to see what's going on with it. Just look at the texture of it. Just look at that. It looks just like a barbecue slider. It's so like what you expect from pork, you know. The texture is there. There's no greasy. Have you ever had some pork that's kind of greasy? It just has a texture and it has that vinegar-based barbecue flavor to it, taste to it. With the coleslaw, and I'm getting pieces of that. And that cabbage is giving it a slaw. It's giving it a crunch. I'm very impressed. Quite impressed. Oh my goodness. I'm almost halfway through this one. You guys, if you ever get an opportunity to make this, please try it. Especially if you're looking for something that's different, that's light, taking a break from meat, from pork. If you're going vegan, vegetarian, this is one of the recipes you want to add to your arsenal. And say you found it right here on BeatzNEatz. The slaw is amazing with the apple added to it. Oh my gosh. And this Hawaiian roll just gives it that other layer of sweetness to it, and it's toasted, so you get that little toasty, then a soft bread. Oh my gosh. You come get your sliders and take them with me. You can come along, come with. Enjoy the rest of these jackfruit vegetarian sliders here in BeatzNEatz. Y'all enjoy some beets.